The diversity of animals on our planet is breathtaking. Millions of species adapted to all kinds of habitats. Ever since Darwin, understanding how so many species evolved has been a major quest of biology and biologists like Jonathan Losses. In the Caribbean, he's studying a remarkable group of lizards.
She will be back.
He's finding clues to their origins in their bodies, their lifestyles, and in their DNA.
Oh, there's one out there.
These lizards are providing fresh insight into both how new species form and why our world is filled with so many creatures.
Don't think I don't see you, lizard.
Here in Puerto Rico, Jonathan is stalking lizards called anoles.
Okay, here we go.
With almost 30 years of practice, he's a pro at catching them.
There we go. He's okay. They've got very strong necks. This actually doesn't hurt them at all. He's healthy, fine-looking specimen.
Puerto Rico's anoles all feed on similar food, mostly small prey like spiders and crickets. But they divide up their habitats in a clever way. The long-tailed slender species Jonathan caught lives in grasses and bushes and is called a grass bush anole. On the low parts of tree trunks and on the ground, a longer-legged, stockier species forages, called a trunk ground anole. And higher up the tree lives another anole species.
On twigs and small branches like these, we find very small anoles with really short legs.
This slender lizard is called a twig anole. Further up the tree is yet another species.
High up in the canopy, there's a large green lizard with big toe pads. He lives high off the ground. There's one right there.
Like apartment dwellers, each species lives in a different vertical space. But here, each floor offers unique evolutionary opportunities to its inhabitants. The fact that lizards differ in leg length and toe pad size, depending on where they live, suggests that these differences in traits are adaptations to the lizard's habitats.
Here's a good tree over here.
To test whether that is in fact the case, I came here to help Jonathan conduct some experiments.
Yeah, these lizards are very cooperative.
We begin by comparing the running ability of two lizards,
Short legs, yeah.
one with long legs, the other with short ones.
Let's do some tests. Let's start with this little lizard here and see how fast it can run up this broad surface.
All right, I'll catch him if he makes it to the end.
All right, here we go. There he comes.
Wow. She's a sprinter.
Exactly. She lives at the bottom of trees, right in the open. She catches prey on the ground, so she has to run down quickly to get them.
The shorter-legged twig lizard is not nearly as fast. It seems like a disadvantage. Why aren't their legs longer?
If you will hold
Jonathan
that.
puts a twig lizard on a thin branch to demonstrate.
All right, let's see how he does. There we go.
Looks pretty comfortable there.
Yep.
Just sort of scurrying along like a balance beam.
This is what they love.
Instead of speed, the twig lizard's legs provide a firm grasp.
All right, now let's try the other one.
So this is the sprinter.
This is a sprinter. Let's see how she fares on this little stick. Look how ungainly she is. Her legs are too long for this. So you can see on these narrow surfaces, long legs are a disadvantage.
On twigs, long legs only increase the chance of falling. So ground lizards have evolved long legs, and twig lizards short ones that enabled their lifestyles. Next, we compare how well two species can climb the slick surfaces of leaves. Anoles have different sized toe pads on their feet. We'll see if these help them navigate different environments.
So it's time for Lizard Olympics Part 2.
All right, I'm game for that.
Here's the ground lizard. Let's see if you can hang on and move up it.
Oh, no.
Couldn't even hang on.
Cannot hang on.
Let's try it again. There he goes. He's getting up there. He's able to move up, but not very easily. All right, let's do another species.
All right.
Take a
Oh
look
my
at
goodness.
this guy.
That's an anole.
This is the big canopy lizard. Let's see how he does.
Well, it's not a fair contest. He's so huge. There's no way for him to hold up his weight.
What do you think now, smart guy?
Okay, he proved me wrong. Pretty impressive.
He's using the little microscopic hairs on his toe pads to bond with the surface, and that's what holds him up.
And his toe pads are bigger than other lizards?
Yes, they are. He's a bigger lizard, but even for his size, he has particularly large toe pads.
So this is an adaptation.
This is an adaptation because he cannot afford to fall out of the canopy.
But how do these adaptations arise? Jonathan and his colleagues wanted to see if they could observe the lizard's traits evolve by conducting another kind of experiment. Their inspiration was the rapidly changing environment of some of the smallest Caribbean islands. Hurricanes occasionally swamped these tiny islands, scrubbing them free of lizards. The team realized they could use the depleted islands as laboratories. They began their experiment by capturing tree-dwelling anoles on a larger island.